Yes, Christians, I will and do wager my eternal soul on Christianity and this Bible being false. And I know that because I can read, and I've read this, and I read it all the time, and I do it on camera. And I read it in the actual context, especially the Old Testament. Context is everything. So if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But I'm going to cover here today how I know that the New Testament is false. And I know it's false because I've read the Old Testament. And I know the Old Testament is false because I've read the Old Testament. But if it wasn't false, I wouldn't keep the crappy laws of God. And one of the biggest misconceptions that I'm going to cover today is that God only meant his laws for the Israelites. This is clearly not true. Maybe the New Testament says that or something. I don't know where it says it's only for Israelites, but the Old Testament certainly doesn't say that, and I'm about to show you. We're going to read Isaiah chapter 56, verse 1 through 8. This might be the first time some Christians have ever read this, even if you've read it before, if you know my meaning. The covenant extended to all who obey. Thus says the Lord, that's the man himself, God. Thus says the Lord, maintain justice and do what is right, for soon my salvation will come and my deliverance be revealed. Happy is the mortal who does this, for one who holds it fast, who keeps the Sabbath, not profaning it, and refrains from doing any evil. Now, I'm pretty slow, and I've got a pretty bad memory, so I can't remember which day was it again that God unalives people for working on. That's Saturdays. That's right, not Sundays. I'm pretty sure it's a Saturday is what the Sabbath is. So you're supposed to keep that holy. Anyway, it says, "Do not let the foreigner join to the Lord say." Foreigner join to the Lord say. The Lord will surely separate me from his people, and do not let the eunuch say, for I am just a dry tree. For thus says the Lord, to the eunuchs who keep my Sabbath, who choose the things that please me, and hold fast my covenant, I will give in my house and within my walls a monument and a name better than the sons and daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. And the foreigners who join themselves to the Lord, to minister to him, to love the name of the Lord, and to be his servants, all who keep the Sabbath and do not profane it, and hold fast to my covenant. These I will bring to my holy mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices will be accepted on my altar. For my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples. Oh, God meant his covenant for all peoples, foreigners. Thus says the Lord God, who gathers the outcast of Israel. I will gather others to them besides those already gathered. The whole point of Isaiah and Jeremiah, the culmination of the Old Testament prophecies here in context, is that the Israelites are being punished in the Babylonian captivity. That's why God is using language like this. The outcast of Israel. That's the Israelites. He outcast them to Babylon. He's recalling them, but he is saying that once this happens, the Israelites are going to be a light to all the nations. And God's going to write his laws on everyone's heart and mind. You won't need them on the tablets. You won't have to look on the tablets. They'll just be in your heart and in your brain, man. That's the whole point of the prophecies of the Old Testament. There's going to be worldwide peace because everybody's going to come to Yahweh through the Israelites. That's the whole point. There's no, messiahs that die for you. Anyway, what does Jesus himself say about God's law? Well, fortunately, we have Jesus' words here, and they are recorded in Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 through 20. And it says, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have come not to abolish, but to fulfill." So, not abolished. What does that mean again? How can we interpret not abolished? I guess that means it's still like going on, like it's not abolished. So it's still active. Fulfill. Does fulfill mean to stop? I'm not so sure that's what fulfill means. Anyway, it says not to abolish but to fulfill. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth pass away, not one letter, not one stroke of a letter will pass from the law until all is accomplished. Therefore, whoever breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever does them and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For truly I tell you, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. So, how many interpretations are there? How many ways can we interpret the word never here? You will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Unless you keep the law. Let's see. What else does it say? Not one stroke of a letter will pass from the law until all is accomplished. Therefore, whoever breaks one of the till heaven and earth pass away. That seems like a pretty clear time that this law would still be in effect. No. So to sum up, God is saying, keep these commands, teach these commands, or you're not going to heaven. I mean, that's what it says. So maybe show me, maybe you can come in the comments and tell me where Jesus comes in later and says, oh, never mind those laws I said you have to keep till heaven and earth pass away. Anyway, let's get to Isaiah 54. This is an eternal covenant that God makes with the people. And again, this is a flashback to over 500 years before Jesus, to the Babylonian captivity, when God redeems the Israelites after the Babylonian captivity. This happened then. This is a specific time and a specific place. Isaiah 54, verse 7 through 10. For a brief moment I abandon you, but with great compassion I will gather you. In overflowing wrath for a moment I hid my face from you. But with everlasting love I will have compassion on you, says the Lord, your Redeemer. So what did we just read? God is saying, for a moment I abandon you. This is more him saying that he abandoned them while they were in exile in Babylon. That's where he abandoned them at. But with great compassion I will gather you. He's going to bring them back to their own land, back to their own country. Back in Jeremiah 31 says the same thing. I hid my face from you, but with everlasting love I will have compassion on you, says the Lord your Redeemer. He is going to redeem them. This is like the days of Noah to me, just as I swore that the waters of Noah will never again go forth over the earth. So I have sworn that I will not be angry with you and will not rebuke you. For the mountains may depart and the hills may be removed, but my steadfast love shall not depart from you, and my covenant of peace shall not be removed, says the Lord, who has compassion on you. He is saying that just like him swearing that the waters of Noah will never again cover the earth, that he's going to redeem them and he will never rebuke them again, just as the waters never going to earth. So like what happened, man? What happened is he did forsake them again, unfortunately. So this prophecy didn't happen. And this is one of the things that I mean, it's clear language. It says, my covenant of peace shall not be removed, says the Lord, who has compassion on you. Was it removed again? This is a specific time again. He redeems them from Babylon. This is a specific time and a specific place. So please, let's discuss it in the comments if you got some contentions. I mean, tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm taking all this out of context. Please show me where Jesus says you don't have to keep this law anymore. I'm aware. I know that all of you are going to start typing Paul in Romans. We're not under the law, we're under grace. I'm not asking you to show me where Paul says that. I'm asking you to show me where Jesus says that in Matthew, in a gospel, not Paul, Jesus. Because Jesus says you got to keep this law until heaven and earth pass away. And Isaiah says everybody got to keep it. All the foreigners are going to keep God's law. And that's just how it is. It's just how it is.